Giants taking it to L.A., taking it to the streets in L.A. with their second victory in a row. The Giants have now scored in the last 3 games, 7, 9, and 6. If I do the math right, that's 22 runs. That's an average of a little over 7 runs a game. The offense is finally waking up, and the Giants get the victory tonight, 6-2 over the Bums. Did I say that again? Over the Bums. Yes, beat L.A., beat L.A. All right, Dallas, let's get the show on the road. The story tonight, one Eric Haase almost hit his 3rd home run, 2 homers, and hit one to the center field wall, the deepest part of the yard in the, 7th, 8th inning, whatever it was. But my goodness.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Now, there's some, first of all, Yamamoto has never given up 2 home runs to the same guy in a game. So there's that. But it was also funny. Eric Haase has hit multiple home runs on 7 occasions in his career.
Really?
He hits them in bunches, apparently.
Well, gee whiz, I guess we got to give this guy some more starts. Maybe he's looking at this and saying, I got to make sure I'm one of the catchers on this team.
We may have a catcher controversy.
Well, you know who this is not good news for?
Who?
Christian Koss. Because Jesus Rodriguez can play second base if needed. Casey could play short, third, second. If you got Casey out of the game.
Yeah. Well, I think it was pretty clear that the Giants were going to need 3 catchers anyway. They can't have just Susac and
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez as your only 2 catchers. They just don't have enough experience. So,
well, I don't know where Heroku is here in the chat, but he predicted a series win, not just a split. So far, I'm already out of the running. I predicted a 3-1 Dodgers. Now, the worst it can be is 2-2. Dallas is already now playing with house money.
I've got my split, but I can't be rooting against the Giants the next 2 games to prove myself right. So
yeah, you don't want to do that. You always say when you predict, like I do, when I say the Giants are awful, I don't think they're going anywhere. I always say, I hope I'm wrong, because I still think it's a long season and they're just doing what I said they would do. I just didn't expect it against the Dodgers. I said they're going to put together a string of 5-6 games in a row. Right now they're playing on 3 games in a row. And the way the Dodgers are playing right now, Dallas, and I just was listening to the Dodger broadcast tonight, Ohtani's not going to play at all on Thursday. They're going to give him a day off because he's pitching tomorrow, and they feel like he'll need a full day rest, not just DH on Thursday.
Now, is he going to play? Is he going to hit tomorrow? Or
probably. They think he'll probably hit tomorrow.
Okay, because I thought they were going to have him just pitch again.
I think they figured out that the best way going forward is, they were talking about, pitchers used to pitch 9 innings and get 4 at bats, and then they would have, the next few days to recover.
Right. I see.
So,
okay.
I think that's what.
Well, he did hit a home run tonight, so
yeah.
Maybe he was starting to, and he looked a lot. His bats looked so much better tonight than they did the previous night.
No. I said if the Giants go 7-0, I think if they win, if they sweep LA and sweep the A's, I said I will do the show with nothing on no hat and no shirt. No shirt. So that will be something if Sunday afternoon.
But if you want the pants, you're going to have to go to OnlyFans for that.
Yeah, you won't see me. You won't see anything, like I'm wearing shorts right there. I'm wearing shorts, okay? I always wear shorts.
And we're all thankful that you are.
Yeah, I wear
now.
shorts 99% of the time. I only dance. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Where's my thing at?
Yeah, that is that would be disgusting. We need my CTE song. All right, we'll see. Let's. Hey, I'll take a CTE song. Hey, I don't know if I would. If the Giants are 6-0, would I have to be pulling for a 7-0 start to the homestand, or would I be kind of hoping they lose one just so I don't have to embarrass myself?
Yeah. So, Dan, what did I say yesterday? Yamamoto is gettable.
Yeah.
The Giants beat him already once this year. Now tonight they string together some runs and put some runs on the board. And how about Houser, man? That is quite an effort.
Yeah.
5 2/3, gives up a couple of runs, but keeps the Giants in the game.
Doogie Howser, man.
Yeah.
Philip says
Kruger
this is exactly
on
what they
KNBR,
do.
Larry on KNBR today said he was going to bet on Houser and the Giants to beat the Dodgers today.
Oh, so
I hope he did.
Okay. Hey, guys, we had a really good show. I don't know if you caught it today, anybody, but I see some people in the chat that were in here. We had Murph and Mac for about 50 minutes or so. A lot of old stories. And I didn't show my feet. I'm wearing shoes. Jeez. I'm wearing my Crocs. Come on. I'm super cash. So Dallas gets it done. Let's see, what do we got here in the chat? Oh, thanks, D. Bogzer. Yeah, nice 4:00 today. Yeah, that was a lot of fun today, Dom. A lot of fun. Thanks for your help in giving me some info, and yeah. Anyway, this game tonight, Giants had to come from behind. They took the lead, right? 1-0, and then let me just go back to the box score. No, they were down. I'm sorry, they were down 1-0 after one. That was the Ohtani homer, right? In the bottom of the first. Yep. I missed the first couple of innings because I was out tonight. So, but in the top of the third, Haase homered. Dodgers took the lead back in the bottom of the third, 2-1, and then Giants back-to-back homers in the top of the fifth.
That's on back-to-back pitches.
Yeah, back-to-back pitches. Bader drilled it down the left field line just over that short little, what is that, like a 2.5, 3 foot fence? It must be no bigger than 3 feet, which is kind of funny out there, Yeah. I wish
Santangelo said that during batting practice, Bader was just roping him over that fence over there.
Wow.
Same thing. And then he also said, or during the Tony Vitello show, John Miller was talking with Tony, and he asked about why Eric Haase is in the game today. He says, well, he likes how his swing pattern lines up with he's good at hitting the low pitch, and so he wanted him in there against Yamamoto. So
yeah, hey, one of the turning points in the game, I believe it was the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th, might have been the 7th, but Muncy took a called third strike, and it was the 8th inning, actually, yeah. Muncy took a called third strike. I was watching the Dodgers broadcast. It was just off the plate. They showed the box right away, the Dodgers broadcast. He did not challenge, which would have given him another bat against Henches. And what happens if Muncy, puts one out of the park? It's a tie game. Bases were loaded. and he didn't challenge, and they had 2 left. What were they saving them for tomorrow? They don't carry over. I don't know what
and then
you're
in the
thinking.
9th inning, there was on that first strikeout, he used it, used it right away just for the hell of it, because why not?
Right.
But yeah, that was a bad challenge strategy late in the game. But in general, the Dodgers seem to be very good at challenging pitches. They're seldom wrong. They challenge when it's when it's a strike and should be a ball, and they seem to do a much better job than the Giants at challenging.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, thanks for being a member for 21 months. He says he's dead, Dan. Only fans, though, dead. Yeah. Man, this is they're playing, I don't know what it is against LA. They're 4-1 on the season against the Dodgers. And they look confident. They don't look intimidated by them. And, are we seeing, an LA team in May that really isn't that up? And they're just kind of a little bit out of sync? Or are we seeing an older LA team that's starting to digress slightly a little bit, maybe? I don't know. What are we seeing?
Well, they're not a fast team anymore. I mean, they don't have a lot of speed, the Dodgers. Like, there's times when you think that they could score on a base hit and they have to stop at third. And they haven't run at all. When Rodriguez was in there yesterday, that's his Achilles heel. That's his kryptonite is if you run on him, he can't throw.
Yeah.
And they could make him take advantage of that, but they decided not to. And maybe just situationally it didn't make sense, and maybe they think they don't even need to. They might as well wait for a game that matters. But every team is going to go through bad streaks, including the Dodgers, and they have lost 7 out of the last 10, something like that.
What is it?
Lost. They're 4-6 in their last 10, so I don't know what the previous game before that was.
No, I like. The Dodgers do look slow and older. I mean, Freeman is older. Muncy's older. Ohtani doesn't look like he's himself yet.
To himself, to be fair, Ohtani's having a bad streak, so that's one guy that's not right. Betts just got back, so he's probably not figured things out yet. I don't know how long of a rehab.
He had only like 2 or 3 days. That was it.
Freeman is on my fantasy team, and he has done nothing this year. I know he's not doing very well. So, the Dodgers, just like the Giants, will figure things out eventually and get back to what their baseball card says, and their baseball cards are very good, So, You expect that, but there's something to be said for catching them at the right time, and taking advantage of it when you can. So I think it's good for the Giants.
I agree with what George is saying here. I mean, why would you not start Haase tomorrow? Who sits tomorrow?
Susek is back.
Yeah, who sits?
I think Casey's.
You think Casey sits
tomorrow?
Or do you think Eldridge sits tomorrow?
Are they playing the lefty? No, right?
No, Ohtani.
Oh, Ohtani, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe it's Eldridge sits because he, hasn't got it going. But Casey took it 0 for 4. Maybe he could use a day. To be fair, when Chapman takes an 0 for 4, we say Chapman should sit.
Yeah, but Chapman's taking like 0 for 20 plus.
Correct, but they're going to have to play ball a little bit with him so that they don't, they don't upset the apple cart or whatever.
I heard Mark Willard say today that the Giants need to do one of 2 things, and they need to do it fast. They need to move Jung Hoo Lee over to center and put Casey out in right field, or trade Matt Chapman.
Well, one of those things you can easily do, but you do open up yourself to question marks defensively. It takes 3 to tango for trading Chapman.
Yeah,
you want to trade him. The other team has to want him, which is a question mark, and then Chapman has to want to go. So there's an extra layer of red tape when it comes to trading him, and that might be a longer term proposition.
That's why you
if
never
ever
give
gonna
no
happen.
trade clauses unless they're a superstar.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, that was Posey's first day on the job. He probably learned a lesson that day.
well, he wasn't technically hired, but he stepped over
But pretty
far
much,
on.
he said, "Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I'll be the GM, but let's get this deal done."
Loving the catcher situation. It isn't Haas. Somebody said in the chat that Haas had 21 homers in 2021. I don't know where that was. Whoever said that, maybe you can put that in again. I'd have to go back a ways to pull that one up. But hey, guys, let me just take a quick peek and see what we've got right now over hanging in the NorCal Sports Network chat.
Haas, 22 homers in 2021.
Wow. Right now, 154 watching, guys. 164. Just either changed or I didn't see it right, but 164, 32 likes. So we need to,
Push the like button.
hey, March Madness went from 32 teams to 64 to 68. We should be able to get to 68 in like 1 minute. If all those out there watching, you're watching because you either really love the Giants and like hearing what we're saying, or maybe you're here as maybe you're a spy and you're trying to get the information. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Susac, Rodriguez, Haase, you could theoretically keep all three if you're that confident about deploying Rodriguez as a Swiss Army knife. I think they are. I think Rodriguez can, in a pinch, go out there and play. Rodriguez seems like the type of hitter that doesn't need everyday at-bats to me. He looks like just one of those pure hitters.
Yeah, but plus, they have not used Koss at all. He's not played at all.
Yeah, Koss is just like, well, he did get in on Saturday after getting in on Friday, getting hit on the head. They did put him on the mound on Saturday. How does that feel? The guy sits for the first basically 40 games, gets in, 2 games this year maybe playing, and then he comes in mop-up duty when it's like 10-1. He gets to pitch. Or 13-1. It was 13-1. They brought in Koss to pitch.
But Vitello wants to pitch Gilbert, so he'll be the next guy.
I don't think Chapman has any minor league options at this point. I don't even know exactly how that works. I wouldn't think he has any minor league options.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
No.
They're not going to send him down. He would have to be, yeah. Chapman would make a good bat boy. Oh my gosh. So Koss needs to go down, get some playing time in Sack. Poor guy. When Susac comes back, Haase and Rodriguez should stay. Oh, I think when Susac comes, I think Koss is the guy. I do. Yeah. Or Porter. Porter's on the team, isn't he? Logan Porter, or did they send him back down when
they sent him down?
What? I thought when they traded Bailey, they brought up Porter.
They did, but then they sent him down the next day.
For who? A pitcher? I'll have to look at the training.
They only have 2 catchers on the team right now.
No, they got 3. Oh, no, Susac's not up yet. Okay.
Correct.
Hold your horses here. Let me look here. Okay. Give me the transactions here. Okay, Giants transactions. Obater was activated. They got Beck back on the squad?
Tristan Beck up.
Yesterday? Jeez.
Yeah, because they needed another pitcher.
Oh, they optioned Smith back down. Option Porter back down. Okay. All right. So I think Koss is the guy that's got to go.
Yep.
What are you saying, E. Miller Base? So you are homeworks, Dan? What is that? I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means? So you are homeworks? Your homeworks? So your homeworks? Or you are home? Don't know what you're trying to say either way. You or your doesn't make a lot of sense.
Clarify. E. Miller Base, 1988.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Oh,
Okay.
do your homework. Oh, do your homework. Well, I probably should, but I didn't even notice that. I knew they had called up Porter, but I need to check.
I think
the
he was only on the
transactions
team
more.
for one day.
Yeah. Tristan Beck. Let's hope we don't see too much of him.
Yeah. Well, they brought him up, but they haven't used him yet.
Yeah.
I think he's up unless it's a blowout and they need to eat 3 innings or so.
Can Haase play other positions? Unlikely. They might be able to throw him at first base at a pinch, but I think we've got enough guys that can play first base. We probably have more first basemen than any team in baseball. We've got Eldridge, we've got Schmidt, we've got Devers, we've got Arise. That's 4 guys that all have played first base. I was happy, though, tonight, Dallas, and I was happy last night. They made Devers the DH. Go with the better defensive player. I think Schmidt is proving to be a pretty solid first baseman. Hasn't really messed up after not catching the effing ball back
Haase
in San
has
Diego.
played 50 games in left field.
Okay.
And now that you mentioned it, I do recall he played left field in the spring.
Interesting. Well, there you go. Got some versatility. Haase, Rodriguez. It's kind of nice. Now, who becomes the number 1 catcher when Susac comes up? Or is it a committee?
I think it's a committee. I think it's mainly Susac 3 days a week, Jesus Rodriguez 1 day a week, and then Haase, will come in the late innings for defense.
Well, I think Haase is going to be I don't know if Rodriguez is going to catch too much anymore. Maybe once a week.
Yeah, I just don't know where else you play him.
Maybe you don't so much. Maybe what you do is you use him as a pinch hitter. Maybe
because I don't think you want him in the outfield long term. Could be a liability there, and then there's just no space in the infield for him.
Oh, Neil Donardi. All right, Neil from excuse me, Longbridge Pizza. Neil Donardi from Longbridge Pizza says third base coach needs to be changed. Neil, I think you're right.
I agree with you.
And Borg has had his issues.
The joke I made on Facebook today is have Chapman coach third base. You just take 6 feet to the right, and there's a box there for him.
There he goes. He retires and becomes a coach. Thanks, Neil. I agree, man. Hey, that whole thing with Ramos Sunday afternoon, not going back to the bag, it was Borg that told him to go back to the bag. Ramos was a third of the way down the line. He was probably 25, 30 feet off the bag, waiting for the ball to drop, and Borg told him to go back. So that's...
Johnny, the Giants just took 2 from the Dodgers. How can you not be happy?
John, he's still... Is he okay? Robert Rothberg. Robert, I want you... Hold on. Let me just... Hold on, Robert. I am... Robert, here we go.
think what Robert means is if they play like they played tonight, every game, then 90 wins is realistic.
All right, Robert, I want you to take this prescription I just wrote out for you. I wrote it like a doctor. Take 2 penicillin 4 times a day for 10 days. Take that to the pharmacy, Robert, and you will be cured of your...
See? That's what he meant. If the Giants score 6 runs a game and give up 2, then they'll win 90.
Robert, they're not going to score 6 runs a game. I want you to take this to your pharmacist. Take 4 penicillin or 4 times a day. Actually, I said I got you. That's too strong of a dose. Let me cut it back to one, and I'll do 500 milligrams. Robert, take that to your local pharmacy. Get that filled. Penicillin, my friend. The Giants are not winning 90 games this year. Okay? And if you come back here in a month, Dan, do you suggest I get Giant therapy? We're going to get a song for you, Robert. We've got one for Dallas. Have you heard our song for Dallas? We can.
How could he not?
We'll give you just a sneak preview of it, and then we'll make one for you, okay? This is for Dallas because he's kind of saying 90 as well. So
Dallas is on the hot seat. He is suffering from CTE. Lay off of Dallas, go easy on him. He's suffering from CTE. Dallas has Larry Bear syndrome. He works for Greg Johnson. He's a full-time homer. He's on the Giants payroll. Dallas has CTE.
all right, there we go. Dallas has the CTE. We'll help him get free. Robert, you have had a long-running battle dealing with this Giants euphoria. Robert said he would be honored if we create a song for him. We will work on that. I will work on that, Robert, as our number one homer here on NorCal Sports Network, where we say no homers, just truth. We should just say, you know what, Robert, because you see this, our logo. Let me pull up our logo here, Robert, and I want to point something out. Because of you, we may have to actually change our slogan. Where's my logo? Here it is. Oops. There it is. See that, Dallas? It says, and Robert, it says no homers, just truth. We're going to just call it one homer. And that'll be you, Robert. One homer, partial truth. That's one homer, partial truth will be our new slogan for NorCal Sports Network. Christopher Byer says, do you foresee a sweep? I like NorCal's. One homer, just Rothberg. That's it. One homer, just Rothberg. Let me see if I can get that created for you, and we'll have some fun with that. Okay. Dallas, I need you to take over for a bit. I'm going to just step back for about 1 to 2 minutes.
All right. I'll hold down the fort here. Let's see. What do we got? We're 3 for 3. You can't play that song on Dallas. Well, it's starting to look that way, huh? But you don't want to count your chickens too fast. You want to make sure that just keep it going. One game at a time. They won tonight. Tomorrow, got to keep the momentum. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Joe Mama. Reverse psychology. He predicts Giants lose the series 0-4. Oh, well, that's not possible, though. At this point, the worst that they can get is a split. Dom likes your YouTube handle. So that was quite a game. So I when that happened, when Haase hit the home run, I was like, wow, I was like, what are the chances of that? And then the second one was just kind of a repeat of the first one. It was like this guy's just on fire. Then the last one, he hit it all the way to the wall, and I thought he had 3, boy. But great game. Good to see them, contributions from the bottom of the order. Bader and Haase. Didn't have that one on the bingo card. Nobody did. Robert wants me to read his question. Let's do that. Robert. Do you agree the Giants are better than their record indicates? Yes, Robert, I agree with that. That's why I think that they're going to get back up to 500. The Giants, for the last 4 years, have been a streaky team, especially the last 2 years. They win a stretch and they lose a stretch. They don't lose a stretch and then keep losing a stretch and then keep losing more. It goes in phases. They put together a good streak and they good. That's our problem, though. The problem is it's a 500 team and they can't break out of the 500. But this isn't a 90-loss team. I knew that that's why I made the prediction, because it's the same team. Nothing changed. A couple different pitchers. Hicks and Verlander have been replaced by Malley and Houser. That's it. You've added a center fielder in Bader. Luis Ariz, that's an addition at second base. So the team is actually more or less the same, probably a click better than last year, but not to the point where they're going to be much better or much worse. And that's really the problem. But it's not going to, the bottom's not going to fall out of them because Tony Vitello showed up and can't manage them. I mean, that's just not how it is. So also the fact that their 3 most highest paid players got off to a horrible, horrible start in the month of April. What are the chances that all 3 of these highly paid people that are making millions and millions of dollars are going to just lay an egg the rest of the season? What are the chances of that? Maybe one of them could happen to. The chances of all 3 of them are highly unlikely. There would have to be an explanation, like someone is poisoning the water at AT&T at Oracle Park or something. It wouldn't make any sense for that to happen. So you got to let it play out a little bit. They're now a quarter of the way through the season. They had a bad month. Now they're having a good month. I can't speak to June or July or down the road because they're going to have a bad month again. I guarantee it. But right now, it does make sense that they right the ship a little bit and string together more wins than they have been. So I do think the Giants will work their way back up to 500 at some point. And it's starting now. You're starting to see them put together better at bats. They're not going to be worst in baseball in walks, worst in baseball in home runs, maybe bottom third in those categories, but the whole season is not going to end up that way. So just knowing that is what was the basis of my my enthusiasm about the Giants. So that's the reason.
We'll see. We'll see if they get there. We do have a new updated logo here. I'll remove myself so you can.
And I'll remove.
One homer, Robert Rothberg. It's all done. You asked for it. You got it. There it is. So we've got, look at that background. Let's go back to Dodger Stadium background, since the Giants are 2-0 at Chavez Ravine on the season. There we go. Look at that, the San Gabriel Mountains in the background there. Yes, Pasadena. I know the area pretty well down there. Not as good as Mike Krukow. heard some funny stories today on KMBR about Kruko, and when they would leave the stadium, he would they would head to the hotel in Pasadena. Kruk, Kipe, Fleming, and John Miller, and when Mike was traveling, he would get behind the driver's seat in the back seat, and he would tell the taxi driver, "Go, go," trying to tell him how to get out of the parking lot at Dodger Stadium. "Go over here, turn." Kruko had all the shortcuts. When you grow up down there and you go to Dodger Stadium, there's certain ways that certain things you have to do to get out of the park quicker because it's a mess. But Giants played. They're playing two really good ball games. I think one of the things that was important, Dallas, that they haven't been doing early in the season, they added on.
Mm-hmm. Both these games, the all of the wins lately, they've been tacking on runs. And when they were losing bad, it was they score late or they don't score at all.
Right.
They would never get a lead. They would never retake a lead. They would just, once they were down, then they were out.
Ooh, game 3. Is that the one insane that was super smoke? You could hardly, or was that game 4? One of the games had, it was so, I don't know, not smog, but it was like fire smoke or something. It was just so bad. The air quality and the vision. Was that the game? Insane. Is that the one Longoria hit the home run? No other runs were scored, but I just can't remember. Was that the weird weather game? It looked like a smoke out. Do you remember that, Dallas?
I can't recall it.
21. There was, we watched it on TV. I was living up in Idaho at the time. I had season tickets, and we're up to 70 likes. All right, good. Let's see if we can get it to 100 now. Thank you, guys. That 21 series, man, that was a pretty good series. It's too bad that we had to play the Dodgers that early.
So on Facebook, I'm in this group. I think you're in it too, called Kruk and Kipe. And it's a bunch of people that.
Oh, I saw that. Yes, a senior sent that to me today.
Yeah, Carrie Dotson says, "I can't stand the two people that do the post-game show on NorCal Sports Network YouTube channel. All they talk about is trading Chapman, Devers, Adames, Webb, Arise, even when they have a good game. If they ran the team, it would be our AAA team in the majors. That podcast is horrible."
Well, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate the kind words.
I have watched them. They want to be operations managers. Clown show. Gib Shubber. Actually, wouldn't surprise me if they were members of this group. You're right, Gib. They might be. Agreed. Rick, love Coach Dan. Ray Thompson, well, don't watch them then. Mark Lee, agreed.
What's the other guy? What's Mark Wolf say? I think
Mark
I've
Wolf
had it
says, well, the recent USA Today article spurned all this trade talk. What's funny is that all these talking heads demanding trades will be the first ones to complain if they're all traded that we need big stars. I do think someone is about to be traded, but I feel it's because they want to open up a spot for Eldridge, not throw in the towel. I think you're right, Mark, and I think Chapman might be the odd man out. Yeah. Matthew says, I cannot stand them either. And then Dallas Helliker says, one of them wants to trade everyone. The other one is a total homer.
I should have got on there. Oh, man. I stopped following that group like 4 or 5 years ago. It used to frustrate the heck out of me just commenting with people. But, yeah.
I find it hilarious. I just crack jokes all the time and post things.
What's her name? Jill? Was it Jill that didn't?
Carrie. Well, I think it's a guy. Carrie Dodson is a
Kari is a lady. Is it spelled Kari?
Oh yeah, it must be a lady. She just has a guy as her picture.
Okay. Well,
yeah, it's a girl.
Okay.
I think.
Well, Carrie Dotson out there, if you're watching,
I don't know.
We're really probably
to
not
tell.
that bad of guys. You'd probably enjoy sitting down and having a little, you know, breaking some bread together. But just tell you what, I am guilty, Carrie. I do want to trade everybody, not because
It's a
I
guy.
just love
Carrie's a
look,
guy. And Carrie
Okay.
must watch our show here because he
All right.
knows enough to not like us. So
Well, Carrie, if you're watching, I do want to trade everybody, and let me help you understand why. Because if you think this team is going to win in 26 or 27 or probably 28, I got something. I've got some oceanfront property. I live in Arizona, and I have an oceanfront property overlooking the Pacific right here. I will sell it to you for dirt cheap. You'll have a beautiful view. And the Giants are not winning in 26, 27, 28, but they may start to win in 29 and 30. I don't think Chapman and Adames and Devers are the type of players to get you over the hump. They haven't been able to do so already. The Giants, with this win tonight, are 16 games under 500 with Rafi Devers in the lineup. So he's not helping you win. Logan Webb's not helping you win. Are they the sole problem? No. But collectively, this team is not going to win anything at all. Okay? So, have you ever heard of something called buy low, sell high? Right now, you're probably behind the eight ball because you've got horrible contracts with Chapman and Devers and Adames. But and Lee, I'll throw in Lee too. That's not a great contract. Webb's got a good contract. But if you were to pick like what the San Jose Sharks have done, now the San Jose Sharks are on the uprise. They're going upward. Everybody wants to go to the Shark Tank now in the Bay Area. For a while, it was a morgue because they were horrible. But they decided after making the Stanley Cup Finals and then failing to win it a year after that or two, they said, you know what? We're going nowhere with older people. You don't win with people generally that are that old. I don't even know if the Dodgers will win it this year. I think the Braves and the Cubs could give them a run in the National League. But if that's what look, I don't really care what people think. I stand on what I believe, and I may be wrong, but I haven't been wrong when it comes to this team. I don't think they're winning. I think they may win the series. They may win one of the next two. Heck, they could even sweep LA. They will give it all back shortly after. I've seen this team enough. This team is not going to just hit all year long. They don't have the type. They're not the type of hitters that hit consistently. So I expect the Giants to be. Could they reach 500 like Dallas thinks? I think they can. I think that's realistic. But I think this is probably a mid-70s win team, 75, 78 win team right now.
yeah, and I think it's a 500 team. My counterpoint is that the Giants, they don't rebuild. They're never going to rebuild. They never have, never will. So in that world, I want them to make the playoffs.
Right.
And getting in the playoffs, in theory, is not that difficult. There are 3 wild cards. Teams are getting in a couple games over 500. How hard is it to win a couple games over 500? All you have to do is they've tried this by signing these players and trying to put a team on the field on the cheap, under the salary cap, under the competitive, what is it called? The luxury tax bracket, whatever. They've done it on the cheap. They're spending what they can to keep it reasonable, and it's just not quite putting them over the hump. And I want to see them get over the hump somehow, whether that's by the younger guys they have performing above expectations or getting enough free agents to be able to move the needle and get them over into the playoffs. At that point, this is all I'm looking for at this point, because they're not going to rebuild. So in order to do that, we've seen these guys for several years now.
Well, this is why
Chapman.
I think Larry Bear and Greg Johnson are complete buffoons. I'll say it. No one else will say it in the Bay Area. I'll say it. Nothing personal, Larry. Nothing personal, Greg. I just think you guys don't know what you're doing when it comes to running a sports franchise. You got 3 world championships in 5 years, which what I'm starting to think now and believe, it was the very best thing in the world that happened to this organization, and it might have been the worst thing, because now they live off that and they think they can repeat and win championships. You haven't had real baseball people in since Brian Sabean left. Okay, Brian Sabean was the architect of those championships. He came in 97, promptly traded Matt Williams for Jeff Kent, and everybody said, what are you doing? And he knew what he was doing because he was a baseball scout. He was a true baseball man. Now the Giants bring in, runoff Sabean and Larry Bear, his idea. He wants to go with this technology, and he goes and brings in Farhan Zaidi, cutting edge Farhan, and Farhan just completely blows up the organization. And then Buster comes in, and I don't know if really Buster knows exactly what he's doing. Nothing personal, but and it's not really a slight on Buster. He's never done it. And
I just don't know what you expect Buster to do.
Well,
not trade for Rafi Devers, given the opportunity.
The thing to do is have a plan. I think Buster's working from the seat of his pants because
the farm system has gone from bottom third to soon to be top 10 in 2 years.
Yes, but that isn't just because of Buster. Farhan did have some credit.
That's
in that.
true. Yeah, Farhan should take some credit for that.
It's
but I'm
because
saying the team is moving in the right direction.
It is.
I can't really fault any decision of Buster's other than signing Matt Chapman. Probably was too long in a no trade clause for a 240 hitter. Probably not the best idea. But Adames, everyone loved it. Best shortstop at the time. We needed a shortstop. And Devers, it's hard to go wrong with that move. I mean, now you see, he had a bad month, so you want to get rid of him. But he's hitting the cover off the ball in the last 2 weeks. He's
not going to propel the Giants to anything major. That's the problem, Dallas. I don't think Adames is worth the money. You've got him signed for 5 more years after this year.
Yeah.
The problem is the Giants lack direction. I've said it for years, pick a lane. They refuse to pick a lane. They try to spend $220 million, and part of it's Chapman, Adames, Devers, and Lee. And you can throw Webb in there. But they're not winning with this group. They're not stellar players that push you over the hump. They're not, you look at Atlanta. They had a horrible year last year. But they got Michael Harris. They've got Ronald Acuna. I don't know why they signed Yaz. To me, that was dumb. But they got him. But then they were counting on Jerkson Profar. He's busted again for the second year in a row. But they got Austin Riley. They've got Mauricio Dubon now. They got Ozzie Albies. They got Matt Olson. They've got Drake Baldwin. They got Spencer Strider. They've got Bryce Elders coming around. They got Chris Sale. They've got Robert Suarez in the back of the bullpen along with Iglesias. They are a team that, is put together structured-wise. The Giants are patch and, mix and match and try and throw. What is the purpose of signing Chapman when you had Schmidt? Well, no plan. We don't know if Schmidt's any good. Well, let's sign Devers. Well, we don't know if Bryce is any good. You're never going to know when you block them. And that's why I say they don't have a plan. What is their mindset? They don't know. Let's bring up Bryce because the team is stinking. We're off an 0-6 trip. oh, well, let's sit him for 3 of the 8 games. What are you doing? Do you have a plan? It doesn't seem like they know exactly what they're doing. Like, okay, we're going to bring up Bryce and they said he's here to play. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not, because we really don't have a plan.
If you bring him up, you have to play him, and then they're not playing him. So they got to send him down. It's crazy. I mean, I completely agree with your point on that.
It just doesn't make sense. Anything they do doesn't make sense. And to think that you got Matt Chapman for 4 more years and Willie Adames for 5 and Rafi for 7. I'm telling you, these aren't the guys that are difference makers. They're 240 hitters, probably all 3 of them at this point. I don't think Devers is going to hit a whole lot higher than maybe 250 for the Giants. You look at Casey's numbers. I heard him read tonight, and I can't even remember what they were, but they were horrible at home, like 2-something, low 2s, and way over 300 on the road. It's a hard place to hit consistently at Oracle Park. So go find hitters that actually make a lot of contact, like Luis Ariz. Now, see, to me, that made sense. That made sense, getting Ariz. But the rest of the club is it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I want to be wrong on this, but I'm with.
They also have to get the players that they can get. It's not, you can't just go out and get anybody you want.
Well, but see, this is their problem. And I know they've got to field a team. Okay, they've got to field a team because they don't. The minor league, the cupboard has been empty for a long time. It's starting to get stocked. Okay, it's starting to get some dishes and filling your cupboards with a full set of you're going to have a full kitchen soon. But it's like they moved into an apartment with no furniture, and now they're starting to build these guys. But the problem is most are still 2 to 4 years away. But don't keep signing guys to long-term deals. You want to sign a Bader for a year or 2?
They didn't this year.
They didn't this year. So does Buster have a change of philosophy?
Seems like it.
And is realizing, like, look, we cannot sustain this, because what are we going to do in 4 years when we still have Chapman and Adames and Devers and they're 4 years older?
Well, you got to move off of one each year, I think. So
probably
if they can get Chapman hitting again, then they can move him this year. You don't want to move Adames yet because you don't have another shortstop. So you kind of need to keep him another year or 2.
And I didn't understand the move tonight to bring in Crapman to pinch hit for Eldridge. I know they wanted him for defense, but you could have done that, like Senior said. They could have done that in the bottom of the inning. Let Eldridge bat. He smoked the ball in his previous at bat over 100 miles an hour that Hae-Sung Kim made a nice leaping grab on. Would have scored. I think they had runners on second and third at the time. Would have scored maybe 2 if it had just been a few more feet away and got into right field. But why are you bringing in Chapman? He's the worst hitter on the team probably right now. I mean, a lot of Tony's decisions tonight, pitching, I thought he made a lot of good pitching moves.
Was that against the lefty, though? Was that against Dreyer?
I don't remember. I don't remember who was facing Chapman. Did they bring in Dreyer? I just remember looking at Chapman a lot, not focusing on the pitcher, because I was thinking, is Chapman going to be able to do anything here? No, I mean, the Giants are now 6 games under 500. They're 18-24. Okay, they played 42 games. So I think what we try and do, what at least I try and do on this show, is tell it like it is, give reality. I'm not here to try and pour cold water on this team, but I'm trying to tell people that I don't think this team they're in that little streak right now. They caught the Dodgers at a bad time. Hiroku and you were right. I didn't think they'd win, but only one in this series. But the Dodgers are very flat right now. And
No, that was against Enriquez.
yeah. Okay. So why did he pinch hit Chapman? Did not make sense.
Simply to throw him a bone. Yeah. Shouldn't have.
Dom says it there too. Chapman face Edgardo Henriquez. Just made no sense. Made no sense. You send Bryce down to the minors. You don't believe in him enough to bat. It's just you don't. I think Bryce is going to be on the bench tomorrow. I would almost bet they tried to stop a little bit of, I don't know, I want to say bleeding or just the media just in a frenzy over him. I don't think it's going to stop. Every time they sit him, I think people are just going to be like, what's he on the team for? Just, it irritates me because it's another wasted option, just like they did to Bart. Here we go again. Giants have never done anything with their youngsters. The last youngsters that the Giants actually did right by was Buster Posey and, Belt. He sat for a little bit, but then he started to get to play. Crawford, Panic. They let those guys play. They let those guys play. They were their guys. The Giants are just one of those organizations, and this is the problem I have with them, Dallas. It's Larry Baer, Greg Johnson. They do not want to rebuild. And because they don't want to rebuild, this is going to be the 9th year in 10 years of no playoffs and not a winning season. 9 out of 10.
Yeah. They don't want to rebuild, but for them, it's all about money. They don't want to rebuild because they want to keep a glimmer of hope in the fans' hearts, so they keep showing up and buying tickets and keeping the ballpark filled. They want to spend as little as they can, but put a competitive product on the field so that they sell X number of tickets, and it's working right now, and they want to keep that going. They don't want to win for the sake of winning. They want to win because winning gets more people to buy more tickets, which gets more revenue. There's like winning isn't their ultimate goal. Money is their ultimate goal, and winning helps that, but it's not the end all be all. So that's
I guarantee there. Crapman starts tomorrow too, Hiroku, definitely. And what is Eddie? Eddie F says all this sending Bryce back to AAA is just pure stupidity. Tell us why, Eddie. You make a statement, but tell us why. I love these. You guys make comments. You're going to have to. You can put more in than just your opinion. I tell you why he should go back. Why should he go back? Because if you're not going to play him, what's the purpose? You're not developing him. He needs. Right. He's 21. He needs constant
to play every
at-bats.
day. He needs to play every single day.
Yeah, you're trying to develop.
Not play up here. You brought him up. You said you were going to play him every day, and you're not playing him every day. So he needs to play every day. He needs consistent at-bats. He needs to play against. It's better for him to play against major league pitching, but he could go down and play.
Bat off the bench. Come on, Eddie. You're going to make a 21-year-old come up and get one at bat every one game, maybe every other game. Where's your baseball thinking skills? Come on, Eddie.
I mean, he's 21. He's been playing baseball since what? He was 8. I don't know. In all those years, did he ever pinch hit? No, he's always been the best player on his team. I guess he was a pitcher, and then he was the best hitter on the team, and he would always play every inning, and that's how it was for him. And so now for him to come in and sit on the bench the whole game and come in and take your one at bat every day, probably going to be a strikeout. You can't get any rhythm when you're only coming in for one at bat. So it's not good for development. And we've seen the Giants do this over and over with everybody. They don't give him any rope. They put him in. If he goes 3 for 12 or whatever, 3 for 20, whatever the case is, then they sit him, and then atrophy, and then eventually you send him back down, and then eventually you run out of options, and see you later. Now they're playing on another team. So,
Eddie, You're telling me you never picked up a bat and played baseball. Come on, tell me you never played baseball without telling me you never played baseball. The guy's 21. He's developing. He strikes out a lot. He needs to see the ball more than one time every day or every other day. And don't tell me he can take batting practice. That is not real pitching.
I think that the situation is being worked on right now. I think Posey is trying to figure out a way to make room for him.
I do too.
And it's going to happen. Before the trading deadline, it's going to happen.
I think
Write
it has
it down
to happen
right now. May
I think
12th.
it has to happen with. I wouldn't be surprised if something broke off this road trip before it ended.
Yeah,
This is not a good situation where every day you got to figure out that you're going to sit Chapman, Adames, and Devers. I don't think it's going to be Devers, and so it looks like it's Chapman or Schmidt.
Adames is just getting his
Or
bat
Eldridge.
going. So it's going to be Eldridge and Schmidt for a while because I think they want to get Chapman out of his funk. And if he heats up and goes on hits 3 home runs and starts getting on a hot streak, someone's going to be like, oh, hey, maybe we could use him. And that might open up because right now you don't want to trade for someone that's having a career bad year.
Eddie, I don't. He's not going to have a 20% strikeout. I'm not saying that, but he needs at bats. He's 21. He's not 24. He's not 20. He's 21. He's only what? This is his 3rd or 4th year out of high school. He needs to just be playing. And if the Giants brought him up, what did they bring him up for? What was the purpose? They brought him up because he was hot in AAA, and then they sit him. It's just dumb. It's like in baseball, when guys get hot, you play them until they work themselves out of the hot streak. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, Johnny, I do think Chapman will start hitting again. He does. He's a streaky guy. This happens every year.
Happens every year. It's who he is. He'll go up to what is
He
he
was hot
down
this
to?
year already.
What is he? 220. He was hitting 300 for a while. What is he now? 228. What is Chapman?
Probably, I don't know.
Let me look. Chapman is. We'll get to the box.
227.
Okay, he's 227. He'll push his average up to 250 at some point, and then it'll come back down, and then it'll go back up, and then it'll come back down. It all depends on when the season ends. Is he on a hot streak? As the season ends, he hits in the 240s. Is he on a cold streak? He hits in the 220s. That's where Matt Chapman's he's just going to fall in that range. 228 to 242 to maybe 249 if he's on one of those heaters the last couple of weeks. So, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You guys say something, then do 180 and say the opposite. What did we do? What did we say the opposite? Eddie, whatever. I agree, Philip. I think a team will take him. Some team will take him. Look, he's not a scrub by any means.
He has a name.
He's one of the best 3 or 4 third basemen in all of baseball defensively. Okay, he's right at the top. Okay,
someone took a catcher that can't hit, a Gold Glove catcher.
Yeah, making $800,000, but
right now you have to get a $20 million third baseman Gold Glover.
$25 million third base. I think it's going to take the Giants paying $13 million of that, $13 million, and they may, or there's another way to do it, which I hope they don't do, which is give up a good prospect and they don't have to take anything. You know, like if somebody would take Chapman's full contract if you gave him Joe Schar, but that would be the wrong move. That would be the wrong move. It would be a horrible move because
that'd be malpractice.
Yeah, the Giants need to just build this thing. Build it the right way. And it's all coming together with these draft picks. They got the fourth pick. They've got the 29th pick. They got like the 57th pick. Philip says there's no way he gets to 250. Philip, what I'm saying is he gets to 250 possibly on a hot streak, and then it drops. He's not going to hit 250 for the season. He's going to fall in that 241, 242 range, or 220, between 225 and 242. That's where I see Chapman at the end of the year. But he might get on one of those hot streaks where he's hitting well for a couple of weeks and his average jumps. That's what I'm saying. He's not hitting 250 on the season. No. Yep, exactly, Dom. That's what they need to do. Let me ask you guys something. Seriously, I don't know how to help people that don't think logically. I want to ask you a sincere question in the chat. Okay. I see you, Philip. I see you. I want to ask you guys a sincere question because it's okay if you think differently than me. I understand. Look, I don't have all the answers. I come on here and give my opinion. I hope I'm right more times than I'm not, but I'm already wrong on the 88 win season. I'm wrong on this series with the LA. I didn't think they'd win but one. So I don't have all the answers, but let me just get something from you guys. You guys say it's crazy to rebuild. How is not rebuilding working for this franchise? How they are headed for 9 out of 10 seasons without making the playoffs and without having but one winning season in 2021. If you're not going to rebuild it, what is the love affair with what they're producing now? I want to know, what is it? Because I don't understand the mentality. I get really frustrated with front offices that think, oh, we will just spend more money. We'll go get Jorge Soler.
They are rebuilding. It's just it takes years to do that.
Well, because it's going to take a while, but yes. But why did they go
out? You can
out?
do two things. You can try to win now and put a competitive product on the field and try to do that on a budget, which is what they're trying to do. At the same time, they're developing all these minor leaguers that are going to come up and contribute at some point. But you can't do it all at once. Now, they could trade off everybody and just suck for a couple of years, but they don't want to do that. So they want to try to do something now while they're rebuilding.
Why not? Why not
because
trade these guys off? That's the problem. They don't care about winning, Dallas. This ownership group doesn't care. The LA Dodgers would never, their ownership group would never say, we don't care about winning.
Right now, yeah. But they've had shitty ownership groups for many years when they were terrible for a decade.
And we have one now, too. We have a horrible ownership group that doesn't know what they're doing when it comes to baseball. I guarantee you there's no real baseball man in that ownership group other than Buster Posey, and he's learning how to do things.
But you can get lucky because we had the same ownership group before.
But no, they didn't. Yes, they did. But they had baseball. But they had baseball men running the front office. They had Brian Sabian, who knew baseball, and he was able to make. Look at the type of trades he made to help the team.
You're saying that Buster Posey doesn't know baseball.
No, I'm saying Buster Posey may not know personnel when it comes to.
We're going to find that out. But this is the gamble that they've made. And we have to hope that Buster can repeat what Sabian did by developing your young players, getting young pitching.
Well, he started right. He got rid of Duvall, and he got Parks Harbor and Jesus Rodriguez. He got rid of Tyler Rogers, and he got Blade Tidwell, and he got Drew Gilbert. Now, are these guys household difference makers?
He got
Not
rid of
really.
Patrick Bailey and got Tugboat, whatever.
Yeah, and he got
Williamson.
the 29th pick. It's very possible that Buster has figured it out with, look, guys,
Wilkinson.
here's the thing. What would you rather have right now as a Giants fan, the state they're in? Would you rather have Kyle Harrison and James Tibbs or Rafi Devers? What do you guys think? Because Devers is 16 under 500 since he became a Giant in the lineup. 16 under 500. And there's no path forward for your young guys with Devers. Now, Devers, if you were able to get rid of Adames and Chapman, and Devers turns things around, and you might be able to build around him with young guys. He might be the
I would
one
do
guy.
the deal again, I think. I would do it again. I mean, Tibbs, he's a minor leaguer. There's no guarantee he amounts to anything. You never know. It's still a crapshoot with him. Harrison looking better, but he's been up and down. They have not been able to get a legit power bat in this lineup through free agency. And now they got one. He had a bad month. He's not been good since the Giants got him, basically. He was streaky last year. He hit 20 home runs for the Giants, but in half a season. But, not his best season last year. And this year it's inconsistent. So
I want to,
I don't know.
I wanna know how,
I do think that they needed a power bat if they're going to try to compete.
Well, it's not working, though. So I like NorCal Fan 11. I'd rather watch some young up-and-coming difference makers develop than watch a bunch of overpaid free agents who will never be true difference makers. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Very well said. Thank you. Eddie, you're the guy I'm going to pick on tonight. You seem to be my agitator tonight.
He should be sent to AAA if he's not going to play. Dan would
Eddie,
rather him play every day.
He's not playing. How is that a rebuild, Eddie? Use your noggin, okay? Rebuild is a rebuild. You play the young guys, okay? And you let them develop together, win or lose. You're committed to a rebuild. The Giants are committed to crap. They haven't decided what direction they're going. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground at times. I mean, the Giants have no plan. Zero. They just do things off the seat of the pants. They okay, let's bring up Bryce. Okay. Well, let's get rid of Bailey. Okay, what are we doing? Are we going young? Great. Let's go young.
They're reacting to what's happening.
And, why are we afraid to sit Chapman for 2 or 3 straight games? You did it to Bailey. Are you afraid of Chapman?
You shouldn't be.
I mean, Casey Schmidt, you saw the double play tonight. Backhand, throw to a rise.
I think they want to showcase Chapman.
And then I hear people say, well, let's trade Casey. Okay, let's trade Casey and keep Chapman. Let's just keep this thing perpetually at 500, and we'll just have these. People don't want to see Matt Chapman, okay? I'm glad people are starting to wake up to Matt Chapman because I told you who Matt Chapman was before they signed him in the 24 season. I told you exactly who he was. I said he's a 240 hitter, no thanks, and nobody wanted him. The only team that wanted him was the Giants, and the only reason the Giants wanted him was because Bob Melvin was the manager, and Bob Melvin managed him when Chapman was actually a better player in 2019, when 18, 19, and when he was crushing 30-plus homers, and he actually had a pretty decent season. Taylor says, I freaking like my guy Dallas thought process, it's more logical. What is Dallas's thought process? I think it's more like what? Get rid of one guy a year?
It's incremental.
Incremental?
It's not blow the whole thing up. It's try to improve. You look at what's happening, you make adjustments, you try to improve and try to get better and try to get to the point where you're 10 games over instead of 10 games instead of 500.
I can live with if that's the plan and they're really going to do it.
That's what, yeah. But by doing that, there's degrees of doing that, right? You could spend more. You could bring in a higher quality starter. You could bring in 2 bullpen arms. How much better would their situation be right now if you had 2 like legitimate major league bullpen arms, making $7 million a year in the bullpen, back end. These guys have done it before, and here they are. Nope. We're going to roll the dice on some guys and hope that Caleb Killian magically appears out of nowhere, and hope that there's all kinds of question marks. And yes, you can save money and hope to get by and hope the guys step up. And so far, more or less, they have, with the exception of Ryan Walker. That gamble didn't pay off, but the guy lost 5 games for the Giants this year himself.
All right. I agree. I do agree with that. All right. E. Miller base. You're on my list too. I've seen Matt Chapman do this for years. I'm not basing it off one. This is who Matt Chapman is. Okay. Based off a month and a half of baseball. Like, how did he do in 25? E. Miller. How did he do in 24 driving in runs? How did he hit with runners in scoring position the last 2 years? Not good. Not good. He's not a clutch player. Okay? Clutch players batting in the middle of the order get at least 80 RBIs, closer to 100. This guy can't, hit his way out of a paper bag for most of the season. He's just not a really good hitter. And, you're seeing what guys like Schmidt do when they get an opportunity to play every day. And this is why I want Bryce Eldridge to play every day. I know that Bryce, if he plays every day, he may stink it up. He may strike out a third of the time. But you know what? You got to commit one way or the other. He's up and he's playing, or he's down on the farm and he's playing. You don't sit a 21-year-old and play him 3 days a week. It's just not how you develop baseball players. It's not like football where, you need a little rest sometimes because you're sore. Sitting a guy who's 21 and playing him 3 days a week is comical. So I that's old school.
Not going to happen. It's not reasonable. They're not going to eat $150 million on 3 contracts just to get out of them so that you can play some young guys. They are developing young guys. They're going to come up through the course of the process. And right now we have to wait for that and hope we can win in the process and, try to make the team better right now. And just because they haven't won for 10 years, you got to turn it around, and you got to keep trying to turn it around. Otherwise, why even bother?
I'm a guy that's a little different, and that's okay. Everybody does things differently in business. I take risks probably. So I'm the guy that's going to take a risk and hit a grand slam, or I'm going to strike out because my plan may not work because it might be a wild plan, but I think with patience, it pays off. Here's how you do this. If you really, really, really said we're going to commit to the youth and we're going to rebuild, you do anything you can to move off of these high-priced contracts. And if that means that you have to pay about $40 million a year, between Devers, Adames, and Chapman. They're making about $78 million between them a year, the three of them, 26, 25, and Devers is about 28. So let's call it 28 plus 26 plus 25, 79 million. Okay, 79, 80 million. All right, let's say I eat half of that, and I'm down to, I got to pay $40 million for 4 years, and then it comes off, and then down after 4 years, it's down to like 28 million. So I'm paying 28 million now for years, and then after Adames is done, I'm only paying like maybe 12 million of Devers, 15 million, okay, for a couple years. So all in all, I'm paying, Chapman is owed 100 million after this year. Adames is owed 182 minus 52, 130. So if I'm paying 65 plus I'm paying Chapman 50 and Devers, I'm paying another 75 or so. Okay, so let's say I'm paying 200 million. No, I'm not Jewish. Okay, jeez. So I'm a financial advisor. Okay, this is what I do. I'm saving 200 million. Hear me out. And I'm getting players back in return because I'm getting prospects because I paid the contract down. So I'm going to get younger players back that are ready to play. Now I'm replacing that 200 million that, remember, I'm saving half. Okay. I'm talking about 40 million a year. Instead of paying out 80 million a year, I'm only paying out 40. Do you hear me? I'm paying 40 million for those three guys.
Who's playing shortstop for you?
I was one of my younger guys that I've gotten a trade. Okay. And I'm paying a minimum wage. So I'm paying, or minimum salary, minimum. All right. Major league minimum. So I'm paying three guys, 2.4 million, 800 times three. I'm paying 2.4 million and I'm saving 40 million that I'm not paying out to players who are not producing for me.
And how many games are you now winning a season?
I don't care because I'm rebuilding and I'm going to.
Yeah, but what are your ticket sales now with a team that's winning 70 games?
What's the difference between winning 70 and 80? You're winning 80 with these
million tickets.
Okay, so I'm saving 40 million minus I'm paying these other young guys 2.4 million. I'm saving about 35 plus $1 million a year in salary. Well, maybe I go out and get really good pitching. I get some strong relievers, keep us in games, and I have relievers that I'm not committed to long term, and I'm still paying the same money, but I'm going to have better pitching. And look at the St. Louis Cardinals. They're like 7-8 games over 500, and they're total all young guys because they said we're doing it, we're tearing it down. We're not going to play we're not going anywhere with the Goldschmidts and the Arenados and a couple of their other older guys. They just said we're going to go young. So then I'm going to get my young guys. And I'm going to play Eldridge at first base. I'm going to play Casey Schmidt at short. Johnny Level is probably a little over a year away. So I just got to plug a shortstop in for a little bit that I can go get a free agent shortstop. Heck, I could probably go get a guy like a Mauricio Dubon out there that doesn't cost me an arm and a leg that I can play at shortstop.
Maybe Nick Ahmed's available.
No. But a Mauricio Dubon type guy that would fill in, that would be more exciting, that has some athleticism, second base, maybe this Killeen guy will be ready in a year or two. And then my outfield, I still got Ramos. I still got Gilbert. I still have Jung Hoo Lee. So I just
I'm
just
not
don't.
part of the problem. I don't want a 500 team. I want a 10 game over 500 team.
But you're not going to get it with this club, this unit. You're just not. It's not happening. It's
Why
not going to happen. There's 16 games under 500 with Devers.
Is that going to continue on?
I don't see it improving to a 500. I don't think he's going to be six to get them over 500. That means to get them over 10 over 500 with, I mean, I'm talking about last year too, but yeah, they got to play 575 to 600 ball.
They got to have a good month, get back to 500, and then get hot at the right time. It's not that hard to do.
That's the problem, though, Dallas. This team, if they get to 500, they're going to give it all back. That's who they are, because they are a 500 team.
They may or may not. Maybe the culture has changed. Maybe the moves that Posey has been trying to get in place, it will start to pay off. It's not like he's doing the same thing. He's making moves. He's trying to improve the team. He's trying to do better. I would rather have him try to make the team better, try to win, try to do something to get them into the playoffs and the wild card. They're not going to win the division, obviously, because of the Dodgers, but they can get it in the playoffs, and that would be an improvement over the last 10 years.
I don't see this unit making the playoffs this year. I don't think they're better than the Pirates. I think the Pirates have a lot of better hitters. I don't think they're better than Cincinnati. I'm just looking here, they're not better than Milwaukee. I don't think they're better than anybody in the National League Central, and I definitely don't think they're better than the Braves and the Phillies, and they're not better than the Padres and probably the Diamondbacks. Who could they be better than? Maybe Washington, maybe Miami, maybe the Mets if they continue to flounder, and Colorado. So they're about the 10th best team in the National League. I think that's their season, their ceiling. I think they're maybe they can get into.
They could be better than Arizona, and the Padres could fall off.
They got too many pros that are real baseball players. You look at Machado and Tatis and Merrill and Bogarts and, of course, Taylor. Yeah, there's no doubt that Posey's trying.
I'm just saying you might as well try because I don't know what the alternative is. We'll sit around and wait for a couple of years for young guys to get better. Now, he should continue to try. He should try to move one of these contracts to make room for Eldridge so Eldridge can play in the big leagues, continue to develop. But, he's not going to admit defeat by trading all three of these guys and blowing everything up. Because that would be like saying, I've been doing this job for 2 years. I didn't know what I was doing the first 2 years. Now I do. It's just a bad look. No one does that. Yeah. No one just completely changes their whole philosophy in a year later after trading for Devers and signing Adames. So, I think if you could move Chapman, make room for Eldridge, that's going to improve your team.
Yeah,
and
I think it
give
would
you more
too.
Flexibility in the infield because they're going to also have to move Adames because he's going to start clogging things up for the young guys. So he does need to move off these contracts. I just don't see him blowing it all up at one time.
You're probably right. He probably doesn't do it all at once. If he can do one over the next 3 years, one each, get Chapman this year, get Adames the next year, get Devers. But I said I predicted 88. I was enthusiastically pushing the envelope. I really probably should have went with 85. I did think it was a plus 500 team. How do I know where they'll be at the trade deadline? I don't know. I just look at the metrics. I don't like the team. They don't walk enough. They started to walk a little bit more in this series. They don't hit enough. They're starting to hit. But remember, I told you
they also started off really bad. So I see this team being 500 by the break, and then in the second half they could, if they're playing well, they could get to 88 wins. It's still on the table. That's only 7 games over 500.
Well, I would love to have that happen because then I could be right, wrong, and then right again. Because right now
Yeah.
I would be. I don't think they're reaching 88.
It could happen. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's why you play these games. But
Yeah. Here's somebody I want to reach out to somebody. This is what I say. This is what I've been saying with Senior saying, and I've said this before too. Recognize your losses. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Okay? Kenny Rogers wrote a song about this. It's called The Gambler. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Right now, the Giants should be looking and say, it's time to fold them. Smart, successful people admit defeat, change course, and move on, especially if they see a better path. Posey isn't dumb. He was just inexperienced. People who continue down a bad road after seeing the
but also people overreact. They make decisions based on small statistical sample sizes. You played a quarter of the season. They had a bad month. They got a horrible start to the season, but I don't think you make a decision at this point, because now what if they're turning the corner here and they have a good second quarter of the season? So you have to break the season up into these, chunks and see how they do over the course of a season. And the knee-jerk reaction, no one in baseball has a knee-jerk reaction. Trading Bailey was as knee-jerk a reaction as you ever see in baseball on May 9th or whatever it was to pull that trigger. So, he's already, it's been 2 years. Well, 2 years since what? Since Posey took over?
I think it's 2 years of just this ineptness of, they haven't played well since Devers came over. And so Philip says it's been 10 effing years of the same BS. This is what I'm saying. I got somebody in here that says Dan wants to wait until, I think it was it Eddie again? Eddie.
The wheels are already in motion to fix this. Yes, it was bad, but things are improving.
Yeah, here it is. Eddie, Dan wants to wait until 2029. Okay, Eddie, you just keep drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? And you just keep enjoying the rest of 26 and then 27 with these same knuckleheads. What makes you think if they aren't good this year, they'll be better next year with the same cast? A year older. That's what the Warriors have done. And
it's not the same cast. You make incremental improvements. You have to take your worst player and move on from him. Take Bailey and kick him out, and now you try something else.
Okay, now who's your worst player now? It's Chapman. Okay. Yep. And then
if you can't move him, then you're going to have to move somebody else. I don't know.
Well,
that's tough. That's the bad decision. Chapman is the bad decision.
Philip says he's a recovering drug addict. I know what insane looks like. Okay. Yes, Eddie says, I agree with trade Chapman. Okay, we're all in agreement with Chapman's got to go, okay?
Just because it opens up the flexibility. You can't have all three of your 4 infielders tied up long term.
This is my problem with the Giants, okay? Let me tell you why I get irritated with this organization. They signed Matt Chapman for 1 year or 3 one-year deals. They had Casey Schmidt, who was entering his second season. He struggled in 23. I said, just let him play. He's a great third baseman. He'll figure it out in time at the plate. Oh, no. So Chapman plays 24. Okay. Casey starts to look pretty good at the end of 24. He's showing improvement. What do? Chapman's going, I'm leaving. I'm going out the door. I'm testing free agency. And what do? They go chase him and they sign him to a 6-year deal with a no trade clause. Okay. So they don't play Schmidt. All right. They block him. They just say, Schmidt, you're not our guy. Elliot Ramos, never played. I kept telling everybody Elliot Ramos can play. I said the same thing about Schmidt. I said Ramos can play. He needs an opportunity. What do? They got Slater, they got Jung Hoo Lee, and they had some other Yahoo out there. 3 guys got hurt in the same week. I can't even remember who the third one was. But they all got hurt, and they had no choice but to let Ramos play. He makes the all-star team. But that they did not discover Ramos. They were not even going to let Ramos play. So now you got Schmidt and you got Ramos, arguably 2 of your younger, better players. Now we're doing the same thing with Eldridge. Okay?
Yep, you're right.
What is the
all
plan?
Those previous decisions were Farhan. Now Posey is doing the same thing with Eldridge, or it's Vitello. I don't know, but they need an organizational statement that says these guys have to play. Unless there's an ulterior motive, they need to showcase Chapman and move him. Maybe that's the reason, because it doesn't really make sense not to play him. And why would you bring him up and then say you're going to play him and then not play him? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. 3/9 of their better players that I think will be better. They're better players, because I think Bryce is showing signs of like he can do it. Will he struggle this year if he plays every day? Yeah, he'll have his struggles. He'll look foolish at times. But you see, he's got good plate discipline. He walks and he drives the ball. He's got great exit velocity. He's got incredible power. They don't play him. So there's 3 guys. 27, Ramos. Or how old was Ramos? Did we check him the other day? Was he 25 still? 26 or is he 27?
I think he's 27 now.
Is he 27? Okay. Ramos and Schmidt, 27, and Eldridge, 21. All right. And then you got guys
26.
coming.
His birthday's
26.
coming up.
Okay. So you got guys coming like Johnny Level, probably 2 years away. Bo Davidson, he could be here next year. But you block these guys. Jung Hoo Lee, that was Farhan's guy. And, it was an overpay. I get it. I see some of the talent, the instincts. He looks far better in right field, by the way, than he did ever as a center fielder. He looks like a pretty.
They are also not developing him properly, because he should have a stolen base by now this year, and he does not. How do you take a guy that has that much speed? He's a fast guy, and not teach him how to steal bases. Add that tool to his kit, because
do you know
it's
the Giants in the Pittsburgh series before Casey stole second base last night against the Dodgers? They had 8 stolen bases on the season, and the Pirates had 9 in the series against the Giants. Giants had 8 on the season.
Why don't this year?
How's that team going to win?
End of the year.
How's a team like that going to win baseball games when other people are running laps around them? Other teams.
It's woeful. I agree with you, but they should send Jung Hoo Lee home at the end of this season and say, Jung Hoo, your homework this offseason is to learn how to steal bases. So hire your team, whatever you do, set it all up, and you just practice. You
maybe
hire a pitcher that's a little bit out of the league and but has a good pickoff move, and you just steal bases every day for 3 hours a day.
3 hours a day. He said, my side hurt. I sliding too much. I mean, look at this. Okay, check this out. He's nicknamed Grandson of the Wind. Maybe he's not that fast. Maybe he has gut problems and he has a lot of gas. And that's why he's nicknamed Grandson of the Wind. Have you ever thought of that? That the wind is not for his speed. He's just he's cutting a lot of wind.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. That's probably why he can't run fast. It's because he's got a lot of gas when he's on the base paths. That's probably why his helmet's coming off, because he's farting.
That's one theory. Now, have you noticed since he's fixed his swing, he's been much better lately. His helmet's not falling off anymore. When was the last time his helmet fell off? He was hitting 200 the last time his helmet fell off.
Well, was that because of the upper swing and he kept following through and knocking his helmet off? Is that what the deal was?
No, but you want to have your head still when you're swinging the bat. You don't. If you have too much movement, then you're. It's
they said they fixed the helmet.
Wrong.
They fixed the helmet. They put
He
super
fixed
glue.
his swing. They fixed it.
They fixed the helmet, maybe. I said that too, Dom. He needs a chin strap like Little League, didn't you? Little League, you had to you put the big helmet over your ears, and you had the chin strap, and because a lot of those helmets were flopping, but especially with some of the older helmets, they didn't have enough foam in them. I always hated that when you were 9 or 10 and you're playing in the majors, and they give you the helmet and all the other guys that are ahead of you on base, they got the good helmets, and you get the crappy helmet that's got no foam in it and is wobbling on your head. Yeah. When you get up to be the 12 and you get to be one of the stars, then you get the pick of your helmets. They raised the face guard. He was hitting his shoulder. Okay. All right. Yeah, it took them 3 years to figure it out. It's just like it's taken them 3 years to figure out whether they want to rebuild or not. I honestly don't know who's running the insane asylum over there at 3rd and King. I really don't. I don't know what their plan is. They just look like a organization that really doesn't have a really laid out plan. Here's the path that we're going to do. Okay, we're going to play the young guys. We are going to move off Les Dallases. The plan is 1 a year. Ideally, we'd love to get rid of as many as possible in a season if we could do it. And, the one thing that I don't want to hear is from people that says, oh, well, that's admitting a mistake. Well, yeah, it's a mistake that they didn't produce. Sometimes in sports, it's not a mistake that you made, because we all loved the Devers trade at the time. It's not like we all thought, hey, man, we got Rafael frickin' Devers. We are going places. But he's been a shell of who he was in Boston. So if he's not going to produce by the trade deadline, and look, we said let's give him till June, July. He's showing himself in May to be more productive. Let's see how he carries that into June and July, because the trade deadline this year is August 3rd. So let's look at this team toward late July. And if this team is somehow in the thick of it, you go forward with it. And you say, okay, they're starting to produce. But sports is all about what have you done for me lately? This is why football players get drafted high, first, second round, and they don't produce after couple seasons. They're replaced because someone else comes in. And, and guys lose their jobs. Well, wait, I was a first or second round pick. Well, the draft is a crapshoot at times. And so are baseball players who start to lose their production. Cal Raleigh, for example, has been absolutely horrible this year after hitting 60 home runs.
Sure. So is Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Do you get rid of these guys? No, you don't. Do you get rid of a Rafi Devers? Not right now. But if somebody offered me money for him in a good package and said, we'll take on his salary and we like Devers a lot. We're going to give you one of our top prospects and we'll take his salary. Be like, yes, sign the deal, because they're not going to win most likely with Devers. And the longer you keep him, the harder it is to get rid of him. So now if Devers was producing like he was in Boston, where he's hitting 30 plus homers, hitting 100 RBIs and hitting 275 to 285, and you go, man, no, you keep that guy if he's helping you win. But that's my whole thing is I think guys like Logan Webb is an asset. I look at guys like Webb as an asset, not as a liability. He's an asset, and I use assets in financial world Don't you guys use assets to accumulate more assets when you're doing your finances? I mean, that's the idea, is you invest so you make more money. Logan Webb is an asset. He's a valuable asset, but he's not a great asset on your team. Like, I'm holding a piece of gold.
Well, he is if you want to win.
But they don't win with him. That's the point.
Won with him,
and they're not going to win with him.
Well, then why are we even doing this show?
We're trying to make a difference.
I know, but we want to see a team that has a chance to win and make the playoffs.
You could win if you get rid of these guys, and you won't make the playoffs for a couple of years, but you'll be like the Sharks, and then all of a sudden, like 2020. 29,
in
2030.
In the world where they're not going to do that, let's try to make a winning team.
But that's what they're trying to do, Dallas, and they can't because they're strapped.
Why can't they?
Because they can't get stars in free agency.
I mean, they're attempting to.
But they're not going to do it.
And the stars aren't performing, so now they got to get rid of them and get new stars.
But they're not. What stars are coming to the Giants in free agency that are position players? Name one. They're not.
They're not.
Right.
You got to get pitchers, and you got to wait for the young guys to come up.
So you sign crap like Crapman or Chapman.
You sign what you can get.
And they suck, and they tear your team down and make it a 500 team, and they strap you for the next several years. Yeah, why wouldn't you just get rid of those guys because they're not helping you win?
Well, it would have been a bad show if they didn't sign anybody in those years. You would have been really unhappy with them being cheap, not signing anybody.
Not if they were developing guys and trading off guys like Webb for sign your pitchers. Go sign pitchers, because you know what? When you get the pitchers, you can trade them for assets. That they didn't do that. They didn't trade Kevin Gausman. They didn't trade Carlos Rodon. And they could have – imagine the Hall of Prospects if you would have traded Carlos Rodon a few years ago. What would those prospects be like today? If you could get
it seems like Posey is more apt to trade things if it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And Farhan was not willing to do that.
But see, I just don't think they're going anywhere with this model. This model is the only way – would you agree with me this, Dallas? The only way the Giants will win is by drafting really good players, developing them, signing guys internationally that are top players, making savvy trades, and doing that versus signing free agents.
Yes, long term, that's what they have to do.
But they've never done it, except they did do it. They did do it in 2000. They were doing that. They were drafting in the 2000s. Started with Kane early 2000s, and then it was Lincecum, and it was Posey, and Bumgardner, and Crawford, and Pablo in the international draft, and they started doing all those guys came up together, and they won 3 championships. Mm-hmm. And then what did they try to do? They tried to keep it going with an old core that was like the Warriors. The core, once you pass the core, move on and do it over again.
Right. But they got greedy, though. They knew that they could keep those same guys that everyone loved and continue filling that park and selling tickets and riding the wave out. And that's what the Warriors are doing right now.
Yep.
Same thing.
And
the Warriors
it's not
are not going to win a championship.
Not going to work. And
but
why did
still
Bill Walsh
selling out?
Why did Bill Walsh and the 49ers win for so many years in a row from 81 through like 97, 98, 99, whatever? Why did they win for, 15 plus years?
They had good, smart people in charge, and there was no salary cap, and their owner didn't care about spending money.
And they got rid of players a year too soon. Instead of waiting till they got old and became nothing, they moved off of them and replaced them with younger, better players. Like remember they got rid of Ronnie Lott, they brought in Tim McDonald. This is what smart teams do. That you keep replenishing things. the Giants got stale. They signed all those guys to longer term contracts, and they thought, well, they brought us 3 world championships. Let's reward them. Well, you rewarded them with long term contracts, and they got old. And now what they're trying to do is replace those guys with guys like,
they also stopped developing talent. There was no one coming
exactly.
up.
Yeah. Evan Longoria, they brought in Longoria. And then what's the guy from Pittsburgh? Why am I thinking he played for Pittsburgh? Andrew McCutchen. They brought in McCutchen. They brought in Longoria. But these guys were a shell of who they were when they were great. And then they did the same thing. They brought in Matt Chapman, who's Evan Longoria 2.0. Willie Adames is
that will never work.
It's not going to work.
This
is why you got to this is why I'm saying get rid of them, because those guys aren't going to help you win. They're going to help you be respectable, but they're not going to help you be good.
Right. But you can't really get much for them. They don't have that much value.
To some teams they might if you paid. But you're
but
right. They have
not
no
going to pay.
And that's why they're a dumb organization, in my opinion. That's what I call them.
It's not your money.
Short-sighted. They're short-sighted. They could save money, Dallas. They could save money if they paid their salaries, because they'd be paying a lot less to league minimum guys or guys that may be signed for $2 or $3 million instead of. You're still saving $7 to $10 million a year per player. So you're not losing money.
The team, if it's not competitive, then they lose the ticket sales. They lose.
Who cares about the ticket
price
sales?
Goes down.
They
fake
do. The ticket. They fake the numbers anyway. They'll tell you there's 30,000 there when there's 18.
Well, that doesn't matter. The money is still coming in. The people that don't show up are not spending money. So they need a certain amount of people actually spending money. All their real estate stuff is tied to that. So there's more they have more invested in it, in keeping people coming to the ballpark than just winning or just the Giants, So that is the main problem, is that their goals are not aligned.
They sell
with
their
winning.
tickets for $5. That's why they get people to show up. They have to cut ticket prices to get people to show up. Because why are people not showing up? Because their product has sucked. It's been the most boring product to watch for years.
You can sell the $5 tickets, and then people show up, and it costs them $22 for a beer, and it costs $60 for parking, and it costs $21 for a crab sandwich, and they end up making their money anyway. So that's where the $5 ticket comes from.
Yeah, I think they can rebuild, like NorCal says. I think they can rebuild and draw 2.5 to 2. Maybe that 2.8. I think people will show up, because I think real baseball fans would love to see a direction and go out and see young guys that are hustling, not guys like Devers who watches from afar and doesn't run out, ground balls.
Like to see that too. I'm just telling you what they think.
Yeah,
and the real baseball fan is not who they're catering to.
I think what you're saying is what the team is going to do.
Correct.
And you agree with me that you think that's the right way to go, but the team will never do it. And so, but what I'm trying to say
completely agree with you that building for the future is the right way to go. But I'm saying it will never happen.
Right.
So in the
world,
world
I get that.
will never happen. I want to see a competitive team that has the possibility of getting that third wild card and so I can watch the playoffs again. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just, a guy that tries to,
You're
usher in change. I don't deal with stupidity well of a group of owners that really is I look at the Giants ownership like I look at the political landscape. They're all a bunch of fakes, because the ownership group tells you that on one hand they want to win and we're here to win and we're going to do this, and Larry Bear gives this big speech and he doesn't give a crap. He doesn't give one iota crap about anybody other than his bottom line, feeding his pocketbook. And
he's just a mouthpiece for them. The
Well, yeah,
ownership group
he's fake.
the ones.
He's fake,
He
and
has to sell it.
Greg Johnson is fake, and I think the ownership group there is more concerned about their real estate than they are actually competing. They got
Of course.
3 World Series championships, and they're going to live off that through the rest of this decade. Until, and in fact, they'll continue it into the next decade until fans actually stop showing up. I read something on Twitter the other day.
They don't care. They don't care.
They don't care
if we win or lose as long as they make their money.
I had somebody tell me
it is actually up to Buster to get a winning product on the field within the framework that he's been given. Because I know Buster wants to win. It's not just all about money to him. So, but he's going to have restrictions on him, and he's going to have to do the best he can given those restrictions to put a winning team on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Politicians and executives have a lot in common. They get a lot of money. They lose sight of the common man, and they're in it for themselves, and they're lining their pocketbooks. And I just don't trust them. I don't think they have a clear-cut direction. I don't think anybody in the organization is really saying, like the Dodgers. You know, the Dodgers said, Mark Walter, we're going to win. We're going to do whatever it takes to win. Magic Johnson's on that ownership group. A couple of other guys. All they want to do, they want to win more than the fan because they're competitive. You know, you get a guy like
they've
Joe
also
Lacob.
figured out a way to align spending money on the team and winning, and they've equated that to revenue and profit. And when those two things align, then you get the Dodgers, and you get a powerhouse behemoth like they have.
Yeah, and they've got an unfair advantage with their TV contract down there as well. So baseball has to fix it. I think if anything good can come out of, you know, I hate to see the Dodgers win the World Series this year. I'm rooting like crazy that it's somebody else, anybody but the Dodgers. But if the Dodgers do win it this year,
it could have been not the Dodgers last year. That's the good thing about baseball is that when it comes down to a 7-game series and both teams are good, one team could actually win it. You know?
But if the Dodgers do win it this year, I think that, you know, I'd hate to see it, but the only positive that could come out of that is I think if the Dodgers win it, it really pushes for a salary cap stronger because the ownerships, a lot of those owners, and it's just going to be like, well, this is unfair advantage. They've got all this money. They've got the deferred money. They've got the TV contracts, and they're going to push for a salary cap. And so, you know, I think especially if a smaller market team wins, that kind of takes that argument a little bit, kind of waters it down a little bit.
Now,
but time to get out of here.
It's probably in the Dodgers' best interest to win and force that salary cap. You know, I think all the owners would benefit from that. So,
well, yeah, I think I hope they do come to a realization that it, you know, in the players' union that gets the top of the players' union that says we don't want a salary cap, they're screwing the younger guys because you're still going to get your money if you're a superstar. Look, there's plenty of money if there's a salary cap of $250. You know, if the salary cap's $250 million, look, the Giants have 3 guys making $25+ million, right? And they're under $250. So those guys are still going to get paid. So it's just that there'll be more teams that'll spread out. The money will be, you know, hey, you're over the cap, so you can't go to that team. You got to go somewhere else to get your money. And that's how you start to get a little bit more parity. But anyway, I just speak on because I'm passionate about winning. I'm passionate about, doing things. If things aren't working, and things are not working at 3rd and King, believe me, they're not working for this organization. This organization right now is not going anywhere. Hopefully they can get there in a few years, and they may still be able to do it the way you talked about by moving these guys slowly out of the system because they're not going to win even if they replace them right now. So, but they've got to find a way to get rid of all of them within the next 3 years.
Well, they might not be able to win a World Series, but maybe they can win tomorrow.
Yes. And for that, did we even play Tony Victory tonight?
I don't think so.
Well, he deserves it, man. What a clutch performance out there, moving pitchers and taking Houser out just at the right time to come in and face. Did it face the lefty? Was it Ohtani? Was it Ohtani that Gage came in and struck him out, or Henches? Somebody.
Henches,
I thought.
Yeah.
We won't play the whole.
Out of Tennessee, where the Smokies rise.
We will not play this whole thing, guys. So don't worry. Yeah, Tony V. He looked like Boach tonight. I thought he was really out there maneuvering the bullpen.
But he's got a way, makes you believe fast.
I'm really tired.
Tony Victory, they don't all agree.
Time to hit the sack. Good game tonight.
Very good game. Giants win it, guys. Giants win. Giants win. Look, bottom line is we want the Giants to win. Play one headlight, man. I don't know what that one is. Two more.
Sounds like the Wallflowers. We can't play real music on there.
2 more wins with 5 to play. We're talking. Oh yeah, we want to win that 7 straight, so I can just take that shirt off, huh? Oh gosh, I feel pretty good about that still. That would be just like a complete facial for me if they go on this 7-game winning streak against the Dodgers and the A's. Look, yeah, stop the hate. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate. I dislike their performances. I don't think they're winning. It's a winning team, but I'm still rooting for them. I'm still rooting for these guys, especially when they play the Dodgers. Casey is faster than I thought. Yeah, I'm telling you, Casey's I think Casey's going to be an all-star someday, especially if he gets to play third base or second. He will be he's a pretty talented player. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button on the way out. We went 2 hours and 3 minutes tonight, trying to entertain, talk. Dallas and I, when we disagree, it's just all sports. We
all want the best for the Giants.
Yeah, and we may have different ways where we think about it, but look, Dallas is a great guy. He's knowledgeable, and I'm his number one fan. So, but we have our disagreements, but it's in fun. It's not in animosity at all. It's just
not at all.
Yeah. So
we're both trying to fix this team.
Yeah. Plus, it makes the show a little more interesting if we have some disagreements.
Yeah, and they're be very boring if we just
and we're not staging it. This is how we both feel. We're not staging it. So.
That's right. No, exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night. Go Giants. Get a 3rd victory. Goodbye.